I love that you are obviously a charismatic person and someone, people I think typically will think, oh, it's something you either are or you're not. But I love that you honor that everybody has this innately inside them. It's just kind of a conditioning out of it. And how do we get back to that?
The energy is everything. When you walk into a room, it used to be 3 minutes for people to create an opinion about you. Now it's 3 seconds, thanks to social media, right? Scroll. If you don't want to be scrolled on, then you need to step into that room. You need to bring your presence into that room.
Welcome to the Firestarter Podcast. I'm Willa Kammerer. Today we are talking about charisma. Is it something that you're born with, or is it something that can be created? And to have that conversation, I'm so happy to be joined by Demet Tuncer. And she is otherwise known as the Queen of Charisma. So there's no better person to be having this conversation today. So welcome to the show, Demet.
Willa, thank you for having me.
Great to have you here. So Demet, walk us through a little bit of your story. How did we get here today talking about charisma with you? Walk us back.
This has been an organic journey. I have not sat down and said, let me teach charisma now to people. This happened out of the blue, but I'll tell you why. Originally from Istanbul, Turkey, and I am a big celebrity in Turkey. I'm an actress, and I am the voice of Walt Disney, Princess and the Frog.
Check out her social account. She's not kidding.
I'm not.
She leads the celebrity life in Turkey.
This is very serious. So I've been in many stages, many global stages, World Economic Forum at Davos, FIFA World Cup, FIBA World Championship, you name it. So I have been in the trenches for 30 years. And all of a sudden, in 2016, my husband was transferred to the US. So we had to drop everything and move. And that changed everything. And one thing I can say is that fame does not transfer, darlings. No, because in 23 hours of the journey, I'm from a national celebrity, I became a celebrity in a household of 3. And so that was a huge change. But I was asked to do a closing keynote for Women's Summit. And after the summit, usually, people come to you and say, thank you for coming. This was lovely. We loved it. This time they marched up to me and said, what the hell did you do up on that stage? What did you do? I want that for myself. I'm like, well, I don't know. I wasn't me. I didn't do anything different. And then somebody from the back of the room said, hey, you're the Queen of Charisma. You got to teach us what you got. I said, they saw charisma. And they want charisma. But how do you teach charisma? I never even thought about it. Mm-hmm. So I sat down and I said, let me reverse engineer what I do and what I did for 30 years and see what works. Then, voila, ta-da, this code, Celebrity Charisma Code, appeared in my notes. It's based on the 5 banks and the master key. It's literally the powerful roadmap to activate your charisma, because I believe we are all born with charisma. Mm-hmm. And that's why we all have different charismas, but we all have it. We are just taught out of it. Don't wear that. Don't smile like that. Don't ask stupid questions. Don't walk that way. Are you going to, yeah, that was funny. Yeah, don't. So all these don'ts, mm-hmm. we hide and we lock our charisma. So what this roadmap, what this Celebrity Charisma Code does is to unlock it, activate it, and make you impossible to ignore.
I love this. Well, leading into our conversation, I had to wear my charisma shirt because, maybe this is one of the don't wear that.
This is
I had to prepare for our
time.
Conversation. Exactly.
Love it. Love the colors.
Go big or go home, as I like to say. So talk through a little bit more, some of these kind of like pillars of your charisma code.
Yes,
how does one begin to unlock their inner charisma? Because I think that there is this kind of like, I love that you are obviously a charismatic person and someone, people I think typically will think, oh, it's something you either are or you're not. But I love that you honor that everybody has this innately inside them. It's just kind of a conditioning out of it. And how do we get back to that?
Absolutely. I love that conditioning out of that piece. Yes. Well, when you look at the word charisma, it comes from Greek. It's charisma. It is the divine, literally, it means the divine gift of God or the divine gift. And when you look at it, it's not talking about yourself. It's talking about being kind, giving to others, making others feel so what they feel through you. And charisma is exactly that. It's nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with the other person. And so some people say, I don't have charisma, or I'm not an extrovert is another one I get. Yep. I'm not loud is another one I get. I said, well, if you're loud, you're not charismatic, darling. You're annoying. So no, that's not it. Because I have this wonderful terminology, the quiet charisma for my technical people. You can be quiet, you can be an introvert and still be very charismatic. Mm-hmm. So let's go through the banks. So your community knows exactly what it is and it kind of lands with them. The first one is the knowledge bank. Yes, it's about knowing your work. Mm-hmm. So when you open your mouth, you give value to people. Yep. But also that is knowing your audience. Mm-hmm. Who are you talking to? Who are you selling to? Mm-hmm. Or who are you trying to get a yes from? Mm-hmm. Are they technical? Are they marketing? Are they left brains? Are they right brains? Yep. Are they females? Are they executives? Are they just starting? Who are they? Mm-hmm. Second one is the character bank. The character bank is very important. Well, all of them are, but I love this one. It's how you use your vocal mastery. Mm-hmm. Do you put people to sleep when you're talking about something, but it's very important and people it's just this, is it like a flat line? Like a heartbeat? There's none. Yeah. Or do you use your voice? Mm-hmm. Do you play your voice? And the body as well, nonverbals. People say, well, I'm okay. I speak or I don't speak. No, your body speaks. Yep. Even when you don't open your mouth, and which is very important. And the energy is everything. When you walk into a room, it used to be 3 minutes for people to create an opinion about you. Now it's 3 seconds, thanks to social media. Yes. Right? Scroll. Yes. If you don't want to be scrolled on, then you need to step into that room. You need to bring your presence into that room. And the third one is the story bank. Story bank is very, very important. It's in our DNAs because we were telling stories to each other around a campfire, even when we didn't know how to speak. So collecting stories, in order for you to do that, you need to actively listen to people. And actively listening actually means you listen not to reply, but to understand. Mm-hmm. And you collect those informations. I go, so Willa, how's your boy? Oh my God, you left your boy. You're not sick this time. This is wonderful. All these little informations, you hold on to it. And the next time you meet, fine, we're friends. But if you just met someone once and then again, the second time you use that information, they go, you remembered. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Want to have coffee? Boom.
Connection, right?
Connection. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And so stories are important because you need to be able to collect the stories. You need to be able to read people, read the rooms, character bank, read the people, read the rooms, and draw from your story bank the correct time, correct way for the correct people, right? The fourth one is the humor bank. Humor breaks down walls so much quicker than logic does. Mm-hmm. So don't try to push that logic into people. But when I say humor, people usually say, well, I'm not funny. I don't mean funny. Yeah. Don't be a comedian. Everybody uses humor, dry humor, satire, irony, or they make fun of themselves, whatever it is. We all use humor. Bring that to the world. Bring that to your business as well. Bring that to your pitches. Bring that to your conversations. That will just shift the energy of a tense situation so fast. And the last one is the vulnerability bank. Oof, this is a very important bank people try to stay away from. I'm not vulnerable. I know everything. I'm so strong. This is not that. People want to.
I need to show up perfect.
Exactly. Oh my God. What are they going to think of me? Well, one tip, if you think when you're on stage or in front of a camera, if your mind goes, what are they going to think of me? Or do I look great? Or what do I do? Do I sound? Am I get? You're not giving value.
Mm-hmm.
You're not
and you're
there
focused
for
on
them.
Yourself, right? You're not focused.
Exactly, Willa.
Yeah. And that
it's
creates
not
self-consciousness, and it's not kind of like you're in your head versus building that connection with the people in the room.
Exactly. You freeze. I mean, imagine if you're passionate about something, I come to him like, oh my God, funnels. Do you know anything about funnels? You're the best person, right? And then you go, oh girl, right? You just got out of bed. You just put your hair maybe on a ponytail in your pajamas. You say, girl, this is what you need to do. That's what you need to do. You need to enroll. We'll do this and that. Do you even care what you're wearing? No.
Right.
You're excited. You're passionate about giving value to the other person. That's what I want people to stay at. It's the excitement, not the anxiety and the nervousness. And the vulnerability is not go to somebody and trauma dump on them and say, oh my God, I can't believe this happened to me, unless they're, your close friends. But people want to work with humans, create that human connection. But let's say we have all those banks filled to the rim. Are we charismatic? Yes, to yourself, but nobody will know unless you have that master key, which is courage.
Ah, I love that.
You need to be able to step into your light, stand out, and really give your message. And I will say this, people say, well, how do I get more confident? What do I get courage? It's not through manifestation, period. It's by practicing.
Yes.
Just do it. You got to do it. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be messy. Yes. Love the messy, analyze the messy, do better the next time. I used to teach at a university, and first time I went there, oh my God, I told business communication, and they said, we want you to implement Celebrity Charisma Code to the class. I was like, are you sure? And I said, well, let's do it. This is a research, let's do it. So I go into the class and I said, good morning, everyone. In this class, I want you to fail over and over again. The kids were like, say what? Fail? Yes. Failing is a research. It's your lab. It's not, in my life, looking back, Willa, I never had that failure in my head. It was always a research. Okay, I did this worked, and this didn't work. So what can I do better? So it's always a learning path.
Absolutely. Yeah, I personally am so with you on that. I believe that every quote failure, it's like a mislabel. I don't even love using the word failure because I view none of it as a failure. I view all of it as a, kind of like learning, the setup for the comeback and, just setting you on, the course that you're meant to be on, right?
I love that.
Without it,
setup for
you
the
wouldn't
comeback.
be on the right
Absolutely.
course.
It's like, I want to be the best baker. Okay, well, how are you going to do that? I don't know. I'm so scared. I just want to do it.
Yeah.
Well, you have to burn a lot of cakes for you to do it, exactly what you want or exactly how people like it. It's the same thing. You cannot be a great cook the first time you cook. So you have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And with charisma, you have to be in an incubator. You have to keep in that space and really know that this is a rehearsal space for you. You just have to keep practicing it.
Yeah. What I'm hearing a bit from you is I feel like learning to love that process, of developing that charisma. And I think I'm also hearing, it sounds like we perhaps fixate on the wrong things, as we're trying to kind of like pulling this charisma from outside of ourselves versus kind of like building it up inside of ourselves. And I love that you break it down also. I think charisma, it can seem like this kind of like intangible, you either have it or you don't have it, but I love that you break it down into those 5 categories plus the master key, because I think it makes each one of them actionable and you don't have to kind of like get to 100% capacity on each one, but you can kind of like chip away at each one and kind of improve your charisma, work the charisma muscle, and then little by little, there you are.
Absolutely, because it's about the person. So it always going to change depending on the audience. They'd always ask me, how do you do this? Like the musicals or plays, every night, how do you do it? Do you say the same thing over and over again? Don't you get bored? So no, I don't do the same thing over and again because the audience is different. So where they laugh is different, where they pause is different, where they don't laugh is different. So I have to really really feel the energy and take them where they need to go. And so it's totally different. When you are using these banks, they're not going to be perfect. They never are. You just know how to maneuver. You just know which one to pick and how much to pick to which audience.
I love that. So what is the power of charisma? So you say, someone comes to work with you or they hear you speak, they go through your training. What is that, kind of progression of, when they start, begin their kind of charisma development journey to where they are, having a little bit more kind of confidence, command, mastery of that? What will that enable them to unlock? Our audience here for the Firestarter Podcast, we have thought leaders, people building personal brands where influence and the ability to, move people's hearts and minds is really, at front and center of, something that is really important. So
Absolutely.
would love to, kind of what is some kind of why is this something that, someone should really think about?
Happen? And why should I, is it a nice to have?
Yeah.
First of all, it's not a nice to have. It's a leadership strategy. It's a leadership advantage, but you cannot measure it in a way where you can measure spreadsheets, calculate. What happens is you start to feel it and other people start to mention it. And when you start getting the yeses, when doors start to open, that's when you start to feel it. But with the clients I work with, I tell them, just introduce yourself, shoot me a video. So we need to have a baseline. What happens is they just I don't know. Just don't overthink it. Just record. That's it. So, and depending on how we work, the length of the training, and then we do the video again. And then, during that time, they think back and say, oh my God, I can't even look at it. And then they start to analyze, I was doing this, I was doing that. They start to see it. Willa, it starts with awareness. And this is an inside out journey. It's not for everyone. If you are saying, I'm okay, or I'm good, I'm charismatic in my own way, it's fine. And yeah, we're all charismatic in our own way. But if you have all these blocks, I'm good. Or if you're giving me buts, lots of buts. I had an amazing theater director who used to say, there are no buts. So why didn't you memorize your lines? Well, Mr. Talbot, because there, but there are no buts. There are no buts. Only my butt. No buts. No buts. I see you playing with your friends over there, so there are no buts. So if you need to be open to it, because during that journey, we do go through all these things. We go through even your posture. Why are you standing the way you're standing? Why do you have your hand on your hip when you talk that way? Actually, I asked the client, it's well, I don't know. My aunts used to do that. And how did that make you feel? I hated it. Why are you doing it? I don't know. It was like a power pose. Well, that's your aunts. Let's find yours.
Yeah.
So all these things, you go deeper and deeper, but that's the charisma. That's the inner magnet. It needs to come out. I see this as like a golden ball inside of us, all tucked in. And when you activate it, Willa, I kid you not, it's like the gold light shines through you. And remember, I said fame didn't transfer, but charisma did. So nobody knew me in the US when I came, but all these doors I've worked with, I was invited to teach my celebrity charisma code to university. And then it went so well, they said, hey, can you do this for the MBAs? I started doing that. And then Pfizer picked it up. They flew me over to Mexico to train their medical directors. And then NATO picked it up. So everything happened word of mouth, but it was because
it's a superpower.
It's a superpower. My light was shining and they were coming to me. I didn't go to anyone. They see it. That's the thing. I reverse engineer what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what makes me influential, what makes me impossible to ignore. And actually I'm launching that membership, Impossible to Ignore.
Yeah.
That makes you impossible to ignore.
I think, we kind of throw around different words and I'd love, what is the spectrum and what's the relationship between these words, kind of in the charisma conversation, magnetic, X factor, category of one, influence, authenticity, alignment. How do these all kind of relate to charisma? Are they the same thing? Are they kind of interconnected?
They're because of charisma. When you have charisma, you become influential. You impact other people. You become impossible to ignore. When you speak, people listen to you. They don't check their phones. When you speak, they really want to be with you. Or when you listen to them, when you create that space, that's charisma. Research shows for charismatic leadership that it's contagious. And when you have a leader that's charismatic, it's contagious to the employees, to the teams, and you create a charismatic culture for the team. And that actually reflects the clients. So it's a contagious, I want to say, superpower.
Yeah.
But it's not me. It's not egotistic at all. So people who are that, like, look at me, look at what I'm doing. I see so many, I moderate a lot of conferences, and I see so many CEOs talk about their companies, but they actually talk about themselves.
Yes.
Instead, give value about the industry they're in. It's always me, my company, me. And people walk out.
Yeah. It's like short-term win, but
That's
long-term,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Depending on what you want.
Yes.
Do you want, like, here right now, you're giving me visibility, right? Mm-hmm. You have invited me to your podcast, and this is visibility. But whether your audience, your community will remember me and will want to connect with me it depends on me, how I bring my presence.
Yes. Well, I am sure that they will, Demet. And thank you so much for being here and sharing this space and this conversation with me.
Thank you, Willa.
And how can my audience learn more about everything that you're doing, find you, and see your celebrity in full force?
Oh, darling, stop. Well, they can find me on LinkedIn or my website. And I am soon launching Impossible to Ignore membership. So just connect with me. I'm everywhere.
Yes, she is. Well, Thanks so much for being here, Demet.
Thank you so much, Willa.
Thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Firestarter Podcast. And I'm actually so glad that Demet talked about charisma coming from inside out, because that's exactly the way that we think about branding at Firestarter. And I want to invite you to check out a tool that we use working with our clients to help pull out your authentic, aligned, magnetic, charismatic brand through understanding yourself better as a starting point. I want to invite you to check that out. You can go to myauthoritymap.com to check that out. And
I love that.
Yeah, all of this will be linked in the show notes, as well as Demet's info. So check that out at the firestarterpodcast.com. And you can subscribe to my channel on YouTube at Willa Kammerer, and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you tune into podcasts, and look forward to sharing our next conversation.